Hello friends, welcome to another episode of Blossoms and Bourbon. My name is Mark. I'm the owner here at Creative Occasions, and it's a pleasure to welcome you to my workroom. I do appreciate you all joining us, and honestly, one of the best ways that you can continue to support us is to share the channel with your friends. Be sure to subscribe to the channel. Be sure to like the videos when you watch them. It's just a simple matter of clicking that little thumbs up and hit the bell icon so that you'll be notified when we post new content. We want to be sure to keep you guys in the loop and appreciate you so much. And please stay with us right till the end, because you know there's always the bourbon at the end. You know, it's kind of the reward, right? So this is going to be an arrangement that is just kind of a freestyle arrangement. It's not going to have a specific form. There is a lot of that in flower world right now, particularly in event design. It's, you know, just kind of a jumble almost, it seems. But you know me, I can't do that. But we'll be doing a freeform. This is a great cement container. This container is hefty because it is cement. It is that black coating on the inside does make it waterproof. And I'm just going to snug some chicken wire down in here. We have used foam with this container before. So I know that it works nicely with that and will hold water. But I want to go the chicken wire route today. And I wanted to create an element with some branches in this because it's fall and I personally just love branches. So it's almost going to be as though there are two mechanics at work here, the chicken wire and then the branches. And you'll see what I mean by that in just a second. Got to make sure these flowers are hydrated first. All right. So what I'm going to do is just kind of snug these pieces of branch into the ends there. And these are just kind of going to be literally like if you're building a bridge, and these are kind of the uprights. And then we're going to take these two pretty kind of tendrily segments, lay them in there. I'm going to take some Oasis bind wire and tie those in place. And when you're doing this first set of ties, just leave those long ends in place. You don't have to trim that yet. In fact, you don't have to trim them at all. But what that's going to do is going to help in just a minute when we're adding the other set of branches in, and we can use these ends for tying. Okay. Don't be too alarmed if that's moving around. That's pretty typical. And then this one, I'm just going to open that up, kind of sit it down over top. Can you see what that's already doing to the arrangement? It's going to be really fun, I think. Kind of open it up at the ends with the branches. And these literally are just found branches from the yard. All right. So I think that's going to be nicely secured. There's a little movement down here on the end with this one, but I think that's going to work just fine. I'm going to start out with some of the last of these sweet little limelight hydrangeas from my yard, just to kind of give me a basing and to sort of cover the mechanics. You know, we're just going to kind of make sure that that's a little softer. It's got some covering in place so that we don't have quite as much of that to do. I'm also going to use some of this great eucalyptus. And just work that in as well. Just kind of, again, pull the line out in the end of the arrangement. We're going to do a little bit of that on each end. You kind of go under the sticks and down into the chicken wire. You can kind of loop that over for a little bit of support. So it kind of follows along that. All right. Let's do a little bit of a snip here with this. And again, we want to make sure that all that foliage that could be below water level is stripped off. We don't want any of that down in the water. Promotes bacteria. The flowers won't last nearly so long. Okay. This is the side I'm seeing. That's the side that you're seeing. got a good foundation in place. Gotta tell you, I've been obsessed with the dahlias this year. They have been just extraordinary. So, because I want the dahlias to be the star of the show in this arrangement, I'm going to do a little more base treatment with some mums. And this really is just going to not only provide kind of a base treatment again for the mechanics and to cover the mechanics, but it also is beginning to add some color. And because this is going to be a fall arrangement, I'm thinking pretty traditionally here with some warm oranges, bronzes, rust colors to really make you think about fall. One of the beauties of using chicken wire and not foam is that most flowers will live longer in fresh water than they do in foam. So that's one consideration when you're working and planning an arrangement. If you want the arrangement to have more longevity, then think about a way to use fresh water, chicken wire, a frog, something of that nature, as opposed to foam, because they will last longer that way. All right, again, I'm continuing to think about this in terms of base treatment. Get some color in there, because I've got a plan for those dahlias. I do love that little brighter pop of that carnation in there. Free Spirit, I didn't tell you, this is Free Spirit Rose, which of course is one of my favorites, as you know. This rose is called Cherry Brandy, which has a really unusual and very pretty coloration that works very, very nicely for fall arrangements. Yeah, let's do this. Here are the dahlias. It's what we've been waiting for, people. And one thing, because the dahlias have dahlias, I'm doing that interchangeably now, because they have heavier heads, this size of this head on this stem is going to make them a little weighty at the top, a little top heavy. So that's one of the benefits of this chicken wire structure. You can see when I put that in there, it stayed. It's not going to go anywhere. That's also a benefit from doing this basing treatment, where you have a lot of material. It can be flowers, it can be greenery, whatever you want, that kind of is in place down there to kind of give these top-heavy flowers some support. I do not know the name of this variety, but stunning, huh? Let's do a couple of these ranunculus. Also locally grown. These flowers we obtain through the Blue Ridge Farm Exchange. And so there are several farms that contribute to and are members of that. And so I apologize, I don't know specifically which farms these came from, but we get flowers pretty often from them and just am so happy with them. This is another variety of dahlia. This is the ball type, and you can see that that bloom, when it's fully opened, really almost does just make a ball. They're just gorgeous. This variety, the ball varieties, are probably some of my favorites. And let's also do a little of this. This is called Grevillea, and it is a foliage. This particular one has been dyed. It's tinted for this orange color for fall, which is super fun. I love that. It comes in this beautiful kind of greenish red color normally, and it's really just beautiful. One thing I really like about this is it helps just showcase how beautiful these dahlias are. Because they're kind of floating above the other flowers and the rest of the arrangement. Just so, so pretty. I've got a little hole here in the middle, it looks like, so I'm just going to tuck some of these berries in there. Let's do another one on the other side. And then another one of my favorite fall products is this broom corn. Maybe one more of these twigs. I think we're getting close here. And obviously with the twig, that doesn't have to be in water. but that chicken wire is great for kind of holding that in place. All right, this guy is driving me crazy because he's dragging on the floor, so he didn't make the cut down there, so he'll go up here. All right. All right, I think we're good with that. So my tribute to fall with some of my favorite flowers, the dahlias, ball varieties, this more open sort of dinner plate style that is not quite as large as the dinner plate varieties, obviously. Some locally grown ranunculus, some beautiful roses, the grevillea foliage, the eucalyptus. It's just fun. This is why I love my job. I get to do things like this every day. So I hope you enjoyed that. I hope you'll try that. You can see this is pretty freeform. It came out a little asymmetrical, like, you know, a little bit of an L, but certainly just make something that pleases you. That's the important part, right? Just like this is probably going to please me, and it's called Penelope Bourbon. This is a barrel strength bourbon, which is 114, Jason. 114 proof on this one. This is distilled in Indiana and bottled in New Jersey. It's one of those kind of blends that has a standardized product in it, and then the way that they treat it is what gives its kind of unique characteristics. After its full maturation, which is a 4-year process, it's then finished in a freshly toasted barrel, which just has a much lighter char apparently, and that's very similar to the process that's used by Woodford with their double oak product. Char levels are not registered, so it's not something that's part of the official bourbon regulations in bourbon world. But on this label, it has that this has been a char number 2, which is a lighter char because they go 1 through 5. And the toast is considered heavy. The overall aging for this particular bottle is 4 to 5 years. This does have a pretty significant wheat element. So even though it's 114 proof, it may not be quite as hot. We'll see. I've not tried this one either. This too is another bottle that I bought when I was in Kentucky. And I started seeing a lot of bottles that were shaped like this, and I found it really interesting because they look like wine bottles to me. They don't look as much like what you'd think a whiskey bottle would look like. Anyway, good color. Oh, there's some nice vanilla in there. A little bit of that, maybe that char. Again, it's a light char, so you don't get a lot of that. Oh, there's definitely heat though. Cinnamon, like red hot cinnamon, some black pepper. Definitely warm. Jason, consider yourself warned. So that's interesting. When it's finishing, there's a little bit of a sweetness to it. Again, it's a shorter finish. Kind of mid-palate for me. Yeah, maybe that first sip was just the one that said, hey, alcohol's coming, you know, and that I needed to get my palate ready for that. But not bad. This could be good sitting out by the fire this time of year. So Penelope barrel strength toasted 4 grain. I hope that you'll give that a try because it's certainly one that I think I'll be enjoying. Friends, this about wraps up this episode for Blossom and Bourbon. Again, thank you for joining us. Please remember to like and subscribe to the videos. Please hit the bell icon so that you'll be notified of new content. And until next time, cheers to you and to flowers every day. See you soon.